Let's talk about Evil Dead 2, Dead by Dawn. Now, unlike Evil Dead, the Evil Dead, I love the Evil Dead 2 more. So I'm gonna just talk positive about this movie. First off, the camera work in this movie, it's a majority of this movie is handheld. When we like go up front someone, when we're following something, when we're seeing something creepy like in the shed, the camera work in this movie, and actually the cinematography. I mean, the cinematography, it's like it great builds up for the vibe. Just more like the camera movement of the Evil Dead 2 Dead by Dawn works so fucking well, man. I always dig that so much. I always find the camera work in Evil Dead 2 so impressive, especially because like it had a little bit more money to make for the first one, but it wasn't as big enough for it to be commercialized like the third one. So that's what I really always appreciate about Evil Dead 2 is the camera work. Another positive I want to highlight is that the acting in Evil Dead 2 is kind of better than the first one. Like, the first one, the actors were fine, but this one, you can tell Bruce Campo and, like, Bobby Joe and, like, the daughter of the archaeologist. You can tell everyone's, like, not just that they weren't trying to first, but you can tell everyone was, like, a bit better than the first. Like, you can tell Sam Raimi learned some skills about the first time. Like, okay, maybe I can do this better. Maybe I can do this better. Maybe I can do that. And you can tell he, like, learned how to be a better director for this one. So all the actors in this one, they're actually very decent. Especially Bruce Campo. I think this is when Bruce Campo started getting into the character of Ash a bit more. Because another thing I want to highlight about the second movie is this movie is scarier and goofier than the first time. And Ash is a bit more freaked out and a bit more goofier in this one, which I absolutely fucking love. Because, man, when he loses that shit, the laughing scene, when the deer and the lamb starts laughing, oh my god, I love that so fucking much. That captures the mood of Evil Dead 2. You don't know whether you should laugh about it or be scared about it. Because either way, you're losing your fucking mind with Ash. And I love that aesthetic so fucking much. And another iconic scene that I always love is when he gets a chainsaw and he fucking, like, saws off his hand. That is an iconic scene. And not just horror movies, but in cinema, man. Only Sam Raimi can pull that shit off. Because I guarantee you, like, if it was anyone else, it wouldn't be as effective or fucking crazy as he wanted it to be. And speaking of, like, crazy shit, man, practical effects, like, they age like fine wine. The practical effects, not the special effects, we'll get to in a bit. But oh my god, I think this is where the money went most to. Because the practical effects, they're very rarely where you see like their CGI in this movie until like the very end. But you can tell there's like some stop motion, some like props, some dummies. Yes, you can tell the dummies are dummies, but still, man, like, you can tell they're going all out on the blood and the kills and the gore for this. Especially that fucking tree. Yo, that shit had to cost so much fucking money. And again, Sam Raimi, he pulls back this goofiness, right? That's what I liked about it so much more. And the comedy in this movie with it works really well. Sometimes you really get a good laugh from this movie, from like a certain joke or a certain slapstick thing that goes on, which really highlights two things. Not only is Sam Raimi great at comedy, but he's also kind of good at timing, which is something I gotta give props to not just Evil Dead 1, 2, and 3, but to all of his movies mostly. Like, the pacing in all three are actually really well made. It's like, it's very well paced. So I appreciate that a lot. Also, speaking of Sam Raimi, the cameo in this movie, I was like, oh shit, that's him! Oh my god, Sam Raimi! But like, and he looks really young too. I was like, holy shit, yeah. He definitely made this shit when he was like in his fucking like 20s, without a doubt. Which is mad props to him, because, you know, I think he directed the first Evil Dead when he was like 20 or 19. And the fact he made a sequel to it later, still in his 20s, like, I aspire to be a young director like him. So Sam Raimi, if you're watching this Sunday movies, you've done it, sir. You've done it. I don't know how, but you did it. Also, throughout this movie, you get nice little details about, you get nice little horror details in the back that you don't notice the first time you watch it. Like, if you watch it, you're like, okay, yeah, that was scary, that was crazy. But the same thing, when you see, like, more creepier shit in the background, or, like, right behind Ash in the middle, or it's just all these little nice horror details I actually really appreciated. And also, I've got to talk about this. The twist in this movie, I don't even know it's a twist. It's more like, because it's not a big twist. It's not one of those people talk, but like I just like that little twist at the end when spoilers, I suppose. But I mean, this movie's over 40 years old, so or 30. Yeah, it's over 30 years old, so you would have seen it if you really wanted to see it. You would have seen it by now, but it's fine. But yeah. So when it comes to twist, where we see in the paper, there's someone holding up something in the air in the ancient papers, and it's like, oh, he didn't do a good job of like deleting the evil. And then at the very end, when he gets transported to the medieval times, and he's the guy in the fucking ancient things, I was like, all right, okay, I like this a lot more. This is my favorite movie. This is like, cause honestly, like, Evil Dead. Whoop, wrong one. We'll talk about that one a bit. But like, Evil Dead 2: Dead by Dawn is a perfect combination of like goofy and horror and gory all at once, and I absolutely fucking love that. And again, the practical effects. And the way it ages is like fine wine, man. This movie holds up still. For the most part. And now we're going to get to my negatives. So first, I appreciate the practical effects with the tree and the blood and the kill and the chainsaws and the hand being possessed. Yeah, that's early CGI visual. Green screen does not age at all, man. I'm telling you that. Oof. I'm like, yep, that is the one thing that does not age well at all. That is just fucking terrible. Yikes. But yeah, man, Evil Dead 2: Dead by Dawn is the best Evil Dead movie in the entire trilogy. It's the best paced, it's the best balanced. So I have to give this one 9 out of 10. Yes, it's almost perfect, except for that visual part.